Good morning, guys. So as you can see, we have the COE back on the lift. Um, there's a lot of things that I want to get done on this, just because I have some parts now and stuff like that. I have all the window glass in. Well, I don't have the front windshield yet. No one's called me back to come and make or come to make templates or whatever. But I do have this door glass, all the weather stripping, the anti-rattle stuff, the guy, what is it, vintage glass off from eBay that I got these pieces all from. Um, as you guys saw, they sent me the right window for the package that I bought, which was for a 47 uh, pickup truck. And then when I got the glass in, this is just a quick rundown. When I got the glass in, it was way smaller than the original glass that came out. I messaged the guy and I was like, hey, this window is different. And the first question he asked is, do you have a COE? And I said, yes. And he said, the COE glass is way bigger than the regular Ford truck cab glass. He goes, but I have it. So all he charged me was just for shipping. And he sent me the new piece of glass, told me to keep the old glass. It'd be more expensive for me to ship it back to him than it would be if I just held on to it. So he charged me $30 to get the correct piece. And it is the correct piece of glass, and they all are tinted. Okay, so as I brought this in here, and you guys know it's been sitting over there for the last month because I've been working on the Volkswagen, and I wanted to get it ready for Bug Jam, which is this weekend. So today, Saturday, and tomorrow is Bug Jam. Today is the swap meet side of things. It mainly focuses on the swap meet, and tomorrow is the actual car show. So me and wifey said, "Oh yeah, I want to go." So me and wifey are going to go tomorrow to Bug Jam. I'm hoping there's a couple vendors still there because I want to see if I can find the marker lights for the front. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. So I'm trying to get done as much as I can today. But anyway, so as I was driving it over here and parked it, the brake pedal, I'm still not happy with the brake pedal. I got to stand on that thing just to get it to hold, right? So when you put it in drive, you got to hold that pedal down pretty bad, pretty hard. So I called Speedway Motors and I talked to them about it. Even though this is a JEGS master cylinder, it is a 1-inch bore, which is right. The body or the chassis is an S10 chassis, so it's got disc drums in the back. And their first question was, is it mounted on the frame? No, it's mounted up high. And they said you do need a 10-pound residual valve for the rear brakes. So I guess what happens, excuse me. So I guess what happens is that the springs on the wheel cylinder in the back, probably you guys know this, but I'm just going to explain it. The wheel cylinders in the back of the drums, they release, right? So when they release, they push fluid back up back up the line. And so when you first step on the brakes or whatever, the pressure keeps coming back up. So that's what gives you the weird pedal, and the not so braking part is the best. So I did. I got the residual valve, a 10-pound residual valve, and then I got a few fittings to make it a little easier because, as we all know, and a little refresher course here, since it's been a minute, I don't have a lot of room here, right? If I was a smart man and thought this more through, I would have got a dual port, and then I could have ran the lines off this side. I didn't know. Now I do know for future reference. But I also found out for sure 100% that this back one, the one closest to the firewall, is for the front brakes, and the one farthest from the firewall is for the rear brakes. So as you guys also know, and someone had commented that I had it right the first time, I did have this on the front brakes and I did have this on the rear brakes. I thought there was something wrong because of the braking thing, so I swapped them. So as of right now, the front brakes are attached to the front portion, which is smaller reservoir, and the rear brakes are on the back. So I have to swap those back around. And that's my brake light switch. So I got to swap those around, and then I have to add a residual valve. Hold on. Where is it? Ah, right here. Right here, right here, right here, and right here. So since I got to put the front or the rear brakes on the front reservoir, and there's very little room up there. I mean, I had it the first time, wired in or plumbed in there, but I have to now add this. So this is a Woolwood 10 psi residual valve. So that has to go in line. So in order to do that, I have a fitting, a 90-degree fitting with a -3. I have a -3. Let's get this on there. Hopefully it'll get on there. There we go. Sorry. So this is going to go on the brake master in the front. So it's a nice tight 90. Then it comes down to a -3 AN line. And then this has 1/8 inch, 1/8 inch MPT on either side. So it's a master cylinder side and then an outside, right? So and you're supposed to mount this actually horizontal. I was hoping I'd be able to mount it vertically, but it goes like that, and then the -3 right there. This is an 1/8 inch MPT right there. This can bend a little, so I can put that in line, and then my normal line out here can go on here. So these are all the pieces that I got to put on there so I can get it, and hopefully that'll help with my braking. At least that's what they say. So I want to try to get that done today. So today is going to be the work day, and then tomorrow is going to be bug jam day. And then also I was going to get in the AC unit, the electric AC. I was going to buy that in the last month, and I was like, I have to upgrade. I have to upgrade the charging system because that is a 60 amp AC compressor. Mine's a 90 amp or a 95 amp alternator right now. And then when you take into account lights, electronics that I do have up in there, and the fan to kick on for the condenser, it's probably going to run like 100 or so amps, roughly 100 or so amps continuous when all that stuff is connected. So this is what I got. So this is a 200 amp alternator, one wire, serpentine belt system. The only thing that I'm worried about is this serpentine belt pulley is smaller, not by much, but it's still smaller than the one that's actually on there right now. So if I have to swap that over, I guess I will. But I'm going to put that up there and take care of that, wire that in. So when you wire in something like that, a 200 amp alternator, you got to run 4 gauge wire from the alternator to the starter post or to the battery, right, for the charging side of it. And to do that, you also should run a 150 to 200 amp fuse in line from that. And it's not really so much to protect your alternator, it's to protect anything else after the alternator is what that's for. So, having an alternator kind of short out and burn out is a lot better than having the entire or the battery blow up or anything like that. So I have all that stuff as well. So that's kind of what we got going on today. Oh, I will tell you that on Marketplace, a lot of things have happened in the last month with this thing as far as parts and what have you. So if you look back there, right there, so those are, I got those off Marketplace. $200 for the set, and these are 15 by 10s, way wider. So they're 15 by 10s and a 4.5-inch backspace, and they're chrome. So I'm going to have to paint them, and there's a process in painting chrome. I'll show you guys that when I get to that point. Right now they have Mickey Thompson's on there. Those tires are date coded 2007, so we all know about that. But these are 12-inch tires. So the tires that I'm going to be putting on them are 10.8 inch. So it'll bring it in about an inch or so from the lip. Because right now we're clearing, you know, this, if you guys remember, this is the side I rolled out. So right now we have about an inch of clearance. The other side that I haven't rolled out or done anything to, I have 1/4 of an inch. So that just tells you how much this is pulled out, right? 3/4 of an inch pulled out. So I will be pulling that one out just so they're even, but the new tires are 275/60R 15s. So they're a 27-inch tire that I'm getting. So they're 1 inch taller than the fronts. So it'll give me a natural rake, right? Just by an inch, but it will be enough. And the tread width is 10.8. These are 12, so it'll sit in about 1.2 inches, roughly, from the fender well, right? And right now there's no weight in it, so there's no bedwood. Well, there's no tailgate and no bedwood. But those are smoothies. They're perfect. The little hubcaps that I got for the front fit perfect on those. So we just have to paint those, but I have them on there for now just because I wanted to test fitment. So, so that was 12 minutes and 12 seconds of what I have going on here. So what we'll do first, we might as well do the hardest thing first, which is the master cylinder. So I'll have to swap the lines around, you know, like I was saying, and then we'll go from there. Once I get it down in this area right here, down here, I'll be golden, and that'll be very easy once I get all this stuff attached, because that'll bring it right down. See, so roughly right in that open area. Oh, and you should always put your brake switch after this. Sounds pretty easy, right? So let's just kind of jump into this, and yeah, let's do it. All right, guys, so we have our arch now, because this will actually kind of bend like that. Again, if I was thinking more clearer, I would have probably got another one of these little 90s and another one of these brake lines for this to kind of clean that all up there. I mean, I know I'm not building a show truck, but man, that would have looked pretty good. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I know I can't get these fittings local, at least not on a Saturday. So yeah, so this is what we got. So let me put this in there, and we will get it in there, because I will probably have to make a new line from here to the brake switch, but that's okay. I can use the one that I have already and just cut it down, reflare it, and Bob's your uncle. It'll be amazing. So, what was that? Oh, I lost the end. That's okay. Okay. Like that, and then that will go right there, and that'll be much better. much more better. And hopefully this will fix the horrible brakes, at least in the back. They do say, while I'm putting this together here, so you can put a 2 pound one for the front brake since it's disc, but since the master cylinder is higher than the entire system, the 2 pound residual valve for the front discs are not needed. You can still put it in if you want, and who knows, maybe I will. So I'll have like a set down there, and then at that point maybe I'll get the new 90s or whatever. But whether the master cylinder is up tall or down on the frame, you still need to run a 10-pound residual valve for drums in the back, just because of how the springs in the back for the shoes will push the fluid back up. Okay, so we have that ran. I didn't really lose a lot of fluid here. I mean, I know there's air in the lines, but now we have the rears running off the front reservoir, the one running farthest away from the firewall, with the 10-pound residual valve and the brake switch right after that. So that's all good, hopefully. And now we have the front brakes ran off the bigger reservoir, as it should be. Okay. So again, I don't like that it's wibbly wobbly. So I got to figure something out there, and I will. But for now, yeah. Okay. All right. So now let's address the alternator. Now, obviously, this would have been a lot easier if a radiator wasn't in the way, blah, blah, blah. But I can still get to all of this from down below and up above. I'm just going to take this off just to make it easier for me. Even though, honestly, I don't have to, actually. Is the battery the battery's disconnected. So this is a one wire. So let me pull this out. And then we'll see if the new one will fit and if the belt will work, right? All right, let me get my tools. All right, guys, so here's the alternator. It's no big deal how this all runs down. And it's a short run for a 4-gauge. So probably right about there, or maybe right here, I'll put the... Yeah, okay, I got it. So I'm gonna undo this wire here, the plug, the ground, undo this, take it off the starter lug, and yeah. So as long as the other one fits, we should be good. All right, let's see. It should fit. It's a little bigger, I'll tell you that much. How much bigger? I don't know yet. Ooh, that's close. Oh boy. Okay. I don't. Oh. Okay. So I think I gotta swap out the pulley. Okay guys, let me swap you around here. This is way bigger. I don't know if this one's gonna work. All right, let me swap you around. So this is what we got. So that's the new one, and that's the old one. I have to run a bigger alternator. So I don't know if just swapping out the pulley, because the pulley here, this is what's hitting right now, is this guy. As you can see, it's a little different from that one to that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's still 6 rib. I don't know. I got to get this off. So swapping out the pulleys will not make a difference. Even though this is a smaller pulley, let me swap you around. This is a smaller pulley. I mean, I got this one off. Right, it goes there, there, there. And there's a spacer. And then that's the fan, right? So even if I swap this out, it's not going to work because that one is bigger, like the alternator case is bigger, but the top with the through bolt for the top of the bracket is perfect. But the bottom, since it's bigger, it sits lower. So even if I swap these out, it won't work. So I'll show you. So this little slide right here where the bolt would normally go through, it's too far, it's too low. So the hole is right here. So creative solution here, I'm going to make a bracket that bolts here, like 2 bolts here, will come up and bolt here. And that's got to be a through bolt. So the top, I know this is hard to get in here, but the top bolt up here, that one's perfect. So right now I just have that top bolt tightened just to make sure that there's an alignment. And it's hard to see, but the pulley's all aligned. But I do have to get a longer serpentine belt for all that to work. Plus, I got to make a bracket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrounge around, see if I can find some 3/16 or probably 3/16 will work to make a small bracket off the bracket to the alternator. That's the only way I'm going to see this working because it overall is just a bigger alternator, which is fine. That's exactly what I wanted, is a bigger alternator. So let me scrounge around here. Let me see if I can find some. I'm sure I have some metal over there that's thick enough that'll hold that in place because it's only going to be about 3 inches, roughly, maybe 3-4 inches. So I can put 2 bolts on the bottom bracket and then come up and then bolt up here. So that's, let me poke around. Let's see if I can find something that'll work. Okay, guys. So I was gonna actually start using like a 3/8 Heim joint, right there. I've seen that before, but I wouldn't get any today, and it's actually 3/8 by 24 thread, and all I have here is 3/8 by 16. But anyway, so I went ahead and made the bracket. So let me show you how we got it. I still have to fiddle with this a little bit for the fan, right? Or for the cooling fan. So what we'll do is, oops. So we'll bring this up. Oops, that's supposed to be on the other side. I may get in your way here for a second. So that'll go there. That one will go there. Drop my light, of course. Okay, let me get those like that, and then this will go up here. It's gonna take me a second here to get this all together, so to speak. Put that one there. Like that. And then like that. And then that will go through there like that. This will come up like that. So, okay, let me get my light again. Can you guys see? Not really. Okay. Well, this system right here, let me bring in. Okay. So as you can see, I got my bracket made. I have the bolt that goes through there. Let me get my hand out of the way so it will focus. There we go. And then I have two on that side. So as we tighten it up, see that? So I have like 4 inches, 4 inches of adjustment in it, right? Right. So let me, I just can't go so far. See, and then it starts, actually it doesn't hit right there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yep, so that's as far as it can go in, right? But we can bring it all out, right? So this one, up there it goes. There, see? But as long as we're out, we should be good. So the whole thing is to actually tighten this bolt down, and then it'll actually pivot off the bottom there. Pretty easy, right? And that piece that I used is, what is it? I think it's not quite, no, it's 3/16. Where is it? I got a piece, here. Sorry. So the piece is 3/16 inch thick, and it was just something I found laying around. Let me put you up here. Okay, so let me tighten up. I'm going to tighten up this. Okay, so I'm going to tighten up this this upper bolt I will have to get another belt because none of the ones I have, this one's too small, whatever this one is. So this is a 1050420. So I need a belt, 5 rib. That's probably, well, that's a little longer than that. I don't know exactly. So let me tighten up some stuff here so I can start running my 4 gauge. And I will be running the 4 gauge hot to the starter lead in here. And then I'm going to run the ground. It's going to be 4 gauge also. So I'm going to run the ground all the way back to this frame point here. Once I get it all together, I'll show you exactly. I'm figuring all this out as I go here with this alternator. This alternator bracket was not something that I thought I would have to make. I thought it would just drop right in, and obviously it isn't, but we can fix everything, and that's what we did. All right, so let me get this all tightened up, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we ran the wiring. I will be covering this wiring with the what is it, PTFE or whatever, expandable wire loom that goes down to there. And then there's my bracket, the bracket that I made. So right now it's on its lowest setting. So none of the belts I have will work. I need a 45-inch belt. This one is 43, and then the other one I have is like a 40. So I got to get another belt, but this stays on this side, and these are my adjustments. The whole bracket slides with it. So now I just have to make a ground wire to the back and then ground it out. But there it is, and this is the 150 amp fuse. I will be putting a 200 in here eventually, but so I'm just waiting for them to come in, but I'll run that for now because I don't have a big load on it, right? As soon as I get the AC AC compressor in there, that's when it's going to start really pulling it. So that's what we got done so far today. Let me put you over here. So not bad. Redid the brake lines up there with the 10-pound residual valve. I still have to bleed the brakes. And then we got the bigger alternator in with just minimal fabrication for a bracket. So like I said, tomorrow, me and Wifey are going to Bug Jam in the morning. We'll be there for probably a couple hours, and maybe I'll show you some footage from there. Just a couple things maybe that catch my eye. I'm going to see if I can find marker lights while I'm there, and then we'll get back on her tomorrow. All right, until the morning. Good afternoon, guys. So we had a great time at Bug Jam. We spent about 5 hours there. I did find the marker lights, $20, and these ones are actually they do both parking and brake lights. So we got that. I couldn't find any gaskets, but you can get gaskets for them. But anyway, these are the biggest important things. Now I just have to find bulbs for them. Okay. And I also got something that I've been looking for a long time. I don't know if you can see that, but it says slow moving vehicle. I've been wanting to get one of those, and one of the vendors had one, only one left. So I picked that up. It's actually a big magnet that sticks to the back of your bus, and that was 15 bucks. So all in all, great day. My wife took a bunch of pictures. Like cars aren't really her thing, but Volkswagens for her just kind of make her smile. And it was nice to see a bunch of the campers that were there, a bunch of different ideas for just bugs in general. And they had turkey legs, the big giant turkey legs. So yeah, she got one of those too, and a beer. So anyway, so we don't have much time for the rest of the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the wiring up underneath there for the alternator. I dug around and I found some more wire loom. This is split loom, so it actually has the split. So I'm going to cover up the starter wires from the battery down. I still haven't got my belt. I ordered it. It's supposed to be in today. I got to pull the alternator back off, paint that little bracket that I made, and figure out what the bolt size is for the grounding to ground it. So that's what we're going to do for the rest of the day. Just little things here and there. You can already see that it's already kind of cleaned up a little bit. But I'm going to be running this wiring over here for this guy. And yeah, we'll see if the belt comes in. If the belt does come in, we'll throw that on. But I have to get the bracket off, of course, to get that painted. So alternator's coming back out. So I can get the bracket off, wire looming that. And that's what we're going to do. So here we go. So this big old alternator takes an M10 by 1.5. Right in the back. And oh, so you guys know, I did pick up a heat gun off from Amazon, 16 bucks. This thing's awesome. Should have got that a long time ago. All right, so I'm gonna pop this up, run my ground, and then all we'll be waiting for is just the belt on that. So let me put this up in there. So I've got 20 feet of the red -4 or -4 gauge, but I'm also using 4 gauge for the ground. So I just kind of wrap it in the coating, but I put black heat shrink on it, so I know that that's a ground, right? And then everything that's power has red on it. So I don't know, kind of so I don't have to buy a couple different types of wiring. I can just use the same wiring, just covering it. I don't know, works for me. And there it is. And there's my ground for the alternator. So, yeah, let me put this in. I just wanted to show you that you know, I do put multiple black heat shrinks on them, so I know that that is a ground. All right, guys. So we got the belt in. So let me show you. So here we are. So let me get my light here. So here's the ground wire right there. The ground wire right here runs up there, down through, and then attached to the frame right there. And that frame right here runs back up underneath there to the back of the transmission. I cleaned up my 2 leads from the battery down. So, you know, the hot goes to the starter post, and then the ground here goes to the back of the starter bolt itself, right? Then the hot side of the alternator right there runs into the 150 amp fuse, and then back out through, and all wire loomed up, red designated for red, and grounds are the black. So, right there. This isn't going as smoothly as I'd hoped, but that's okay. So there's the belt right there, and that is a 44.5-inch belt, and it fits perfect for my situation. Okay, so up above, there it is. Right, everything is all lined up. Everything looks exactly as it should. And this wire right here was from the old alternator because I had it ran as a 2-wire. So I have to take this out of the harness, but that's a separate harness, so I just have to undo the tie wraps and that'll come right out. But yeah. So what we will do, let me get you up here. So whenever I start this thing with the microphone, actually when I start any of them with the microphone, the sign that kind of sounds crappy because it's trying to cancel the engine and pick me up instead. So, but what we'll do is we'll hook up the battery and we'll fire it up, right? We'll see how this goes. I got my meter here, so I'm going to check the voltage at the battery and see where it was. Before it was 13. I don't know, I'd have to look back in the video, but it was like, what was it, 13.6, 13.8 or something with the old alternator, 90 amp alternator. So let me hook up the battery. There we go. Well, nothing shorted yet. That's always good. All right, so let's fire it up. Nice. 1, 2. All right, here we go. Oh, nice. So inside here, it's running 14, well, almost 15 volts. Nice. Whoop. I hear a little tick. Hold on. Hear that? Let me go check that real quick. Okay. So the alternator fan is just ticking that bracket. So I'll have to kind of open that up a little bit. But that's okay. That's okay. That's an easy fix. So let me check the voltage. voltage is 14.8. Let's turn on the headlights. Why not? There's the headlights. $14.8 still, with the headlights on. Nice. Well, I'd say that's a success. Super happy about that. Like I said, that little fan, the fan outside of the blade is just ticking that little bracket that I made. So, you know, once things get started and moving at the rate that it does in the vibration, there, I'm glad that that's the only thing that it was a problem. Okay, and it's not really a problem. Very nice. Well, I don't know. I think that's actually gonna kind of wrap this one up. I didn't get into too much of me actually wire looming all the wires and stuff like that, just because that's kind of boring, right, guys? Let's be honest. But what I do want to do, I want to see how these look. Right? I don't know if they're for this year, but oh, look at that. Oh yeah, those are going to be nice. I like that. I got to see the other one. Nice. Oh. I mean, come on. You're going to tell me that don't look good? Hell, it's amazing. And these are stock Hella lenses, like old school right here. Oh, there it is. Oh man, and you can actually, I know I'm kind of getting sidetracked here with these, but there we go. Yeah, you can adjust them. See that? No, actually no. There we go. Tighten that up. Oh, those are going to be perfect. Perfect. Well, we might as well go all out. Let's put the grill on there and see how it all looks together. Hood straps. Whoa. There we go. Oh yeah. Those are awesome. All right, guys. Sorry, I just had to take a peek at that. Those are awesome, 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 awesome. So anyway, I think that's going to wrap up this one. I appreciate you guys coming out and watching some more COE action going on here. I think next week we may tackle. Well, I think we're going to start tackling the inside stuff. So the wiper arms up above here. I'm going to have to take that inner piece right here. I'm going to open it up so the wiper arm holes can show through. So I'll have to make little like bezel plates for that. Get those all up in there, run the wiring for that, and then make sure that my wiper arms will all work. So I don't know how much of that is going to be entailed next weekend, but I definitely want to get that done for sure. Because once I finish getting the inside pieces cut, welded, and all that, then I can start putting the interior pieces in. I don't want to do that right now. I almost started doing the windows, the side glass and stuff like that. But if I'm going to be up there cutting and grinding and stuff, I don't need sparks flying and hitting these pieces of glass. One, they're brand new, and two, they're tinted. So the back window and the two side windows are tinted like a smoke gray, right? So I don't want any damage to them. So anyway, you know what I'm going to show you? Oh, so these 15 by 10 wheels in the back, right? I didn't really show you how wide these things are from the back. Here, let me show you. Those things are some meaties. Now I know these are 12-inch wide tires, and I'm going to be doing 10.8, but just imagine like an inch off that, which will hardly be noticeable. But with that deep dish, look at that. That's going to be awesome right there. And then of course the fronts, they're a little bit shorter. So yeah, about 2 inches shorter. So those are going to be sweet. And how we got that going like that. Perfect. Okay, guys. Now I'm going to be done. So again, guys, thanks for coming out and taking a peek. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everyone just sticking around here. I know the Volkswagen didn't do so well as far as like just people looking at it in general. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're back on here. So again, guys, go out and build something cool. One weekend at a time. Catch you on the next one, guys. Bye.